It is very good. to have you here. Welcome to the live stream. Another day, another stream, and we have some news again. So in 5 minutes we have apparently some high impact news. Now we'll see what it does to the chart, but before I'm going to analyze the chart, we're going to observe what the news is going to do at 4 p.m. So yeah, that is going to be quite interesting. So you can see here the calendar, Trading Economics, link is in the description, but it's tradingeconomics.com/calendar, high impact news, US only. And then we have Wednesday the 10th, today 4 p.m. Central European time. Paul is speaking. I have no idea what he's going to speak about, but we'll see, no? And maybe we can see some effect of his speech on the chart, because it might lead to some extra volatility, and we like to have volatility because we can trade volatility. So good to have you here, everyone. Ali rocking the new badge. That's what we like to see. Yo, got your nice bronze badge. Hoshi as well. Now this one, of course, will turn eventually silver and then gold. And I think the last badge someone can get is the official logo of the channel. And I think that's only 4-year mark or something. It's insanely long. Saraga, welcome. Hoshi, good to have you here, and thanks for your reply as well by email. Very interesting, little bit of career explanation in what you do and the languages you speak as well. So yeah, we might get in touch. Sibel, good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Michael Pretzel, what time is the news? In a few minutes. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to be exact. Daily dose of coons. Andrew, welcome. Gabriel, good to have you here. Let's see. Yeah. Gold, Andrew, new caller. Yeah, that and then Pistachio in blue as well. Now Pistachio is one of the first ever, if not the first person to have blue. Which means he supports the channel, or he is a member of the channel for 1 year. So, insane. Started in gold back in the day, and now he's rocking the blue badge. And Andrew with the gold badge. There you go. Yeah, looks very good on you. What's up, Bina Noob Hustle? Good to have you here as well. Max Trades Crypto, welcome, man. Good to have you here. Andrew, cheers. Thank you. Appreciate the support, man. Yeah, it's been a solid day. Nice bit of trading as well. Currently in a short myself, and I'm happy to highlight the reason why I entered the short. I entered it in this range over here. Actually posted a screenshot in the gold Elliott Waves channel. Now there's a lot happening here. Lots of talking, but we were talking about the move to the downside. Oh, where is it? Yeah, so John said not looking good as price was moving down. Looking great. So yeah, entry was 58546. That is where I joined the party, which was up here. And now we're at the 886. So not bad. Gold badges in the house. Yeah, you'll get there. Rudy, welcome. Good to have you here. Yanis, Hike, Zad, welcome guys. Kiwi, how you doing? Good evening, all the way from New Zealand. He spoke to me, didn't really change his tone, says he needs more good data, but I see most usually saying rate cuts. Okay, yeah, I'm very unfamiliar with news, and I just know okay, increased probability of volatility. And so therefore I just keep an eye on the website Trading Economics, which I think John once upon a time mentioned. So yeah, I just keep an eye on the website, and at least I know if something is going on, or if the chart is moving very quickly. I might know why. So Hengelbrock, welcome. Good to have you here. Everyone's biased to the upside. Yeah, I mean, now we hit the 618, of course, over here. We retested the 618 here as well, and now we're at the 886. So the probabilities not that great for the most impulsive scenario. We still have a diagonal to keep in mind, but let's see. News hits now. It is currently 4 p.m. Central European time. So now we can observe what it does on the chart. 1 second, gonna zoom in a little bit. We are getting quite close to the daily naked point of control as well. Let me, by the way, I'm live, so I want to manage my trade quick. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we're going to cover the Elliott waves, of course, or the different scenarios in the range. But I'm first interested to see if we get any sort of volatility here now that the news hits. Where did I? The calendar. I believe I put the link in the description. But tell me if I haven't. Economic calendar. So it's tradingeconomics.com/calendar. It's just a public website. So here it is. I'll put it in the chat. And then make sure to have your impact on 3 countries. Of course, only America in that case. I mean, that's the only one really I'm interested in. Click on save, and then here you got the list of everything that's coming up. Now, Thursday and Friday should be quite interesting. Now, I think the end of this week is going to be quite a volatile ending, I suppose. But yeah, we currently have Powell speaking. We'll see if anything happens on the chart, right? Always feel tired. I mean, now it's evening, right? It's evening in your time zone, that is. Joe, welcome. Good afternoon. How you doing? How you doing? Krebsy, welcome. Richard, hello from Paris. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Hemant Kumar, amazing content. Cheers, mate. I mean, we haven't even started yet, but I appreciate it. Of course, you've been around for a while. Nice gold badge behind your name as well. What's up? Maybe a Band-Aid. Good to have you here. Above the 200 daily SMA. Yeah, the more people use a certain indicator or keep an eye on a certain line, the more interested it is, of course, to fake out. But FYI, welcome. Yeah, probably. But now, I don't know, what's the time in New Zealand? Must be around midnight, no? I think. Johnny, what's up? Airwaves are typically sharp, so might get a nice spike up here. We have the low time frame impulse down. 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially a finished 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though then most volume is in 5, which of course is uncommon. So from an impulse perspective, preferably this latest structure is a 3. Now you can of course have a 3 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if this is a whole 5, then we have the highest volume in 5. So either a W. So I wrote in silver earlier today, because of the volume to the downside here being the highest in the local move down, preferably, we label this a wave C, Y, or 3. And it depends on the range, the next range coming up. 2 a.m. and you're here. Whoa. Are you always awake at 2 a.m., Kiwi? Like, it's just your routine? Jay-Z, welcome. Got a nice little bullish CVD from the last low. Maybe on the 3-minute time frame. The last low. Yeah, there's a higher low in price, a lower low on the CVD. This one played out. For the scalpers, this one is interesting. Personally, for me, this over here, like I would need a bigger range to be interested, more of a grind as well. But there's definitely interest. So a little bit of absorption going on. I was born in Taranaki. Delisha Trading, welcome. I'm quite tired, so yeah. I make it my routine. Oh, hopefully it's not messing with your either work or business or whatever you do in your daily life, family, kids, I don't know, studies. So, nice one, John. Nice. Yeah, so let me explain the reason why I took the short. So hopefully it helps people. and then we're going to go into the Elliott wave analysis. First of all, start on the daily. I know I mentioned it this morning, but it's good to know where we are in the bigger context. And then we're going to zoom into the range. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I might already talk a little bit about how scenarios are going to change once we get a bit of a bounce to the upside, because then we're of course going to have a new bullish and bearish scenario. And for a while now, I already have in my head what I want to then show, but I can give a little sneak peek of what we're then going to have on the chart. Oh, talking about this, Hoshi, set your Amazon alarm for the long-awaited book, Eat, Sleep, Koens. Hoshi, and everyone else that is here, before we jump into why I took the short and the analysis. So I mentioned, right, I was in touch with Amazon because the links weren't working, right? With regards to the books, I often get asked, like, what books do I recommend or enjoy? So I have a whole book list in the description as well as in Discord. And those links didn't work. So I got in touch with Amazon to figure out what was wrong. And they sent me an email with like many steps, like ta 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 ta. And I did everything this morning. Ta, 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 ta. So hopefully all the links in the description as well as the ones in Discord work. I do not know. Right, if I click it, I get to the page, but I have no idea if something happens when someone buys a book. If you know, I don't know. Now, if there's a book, I think the commission is 4.5%, which is like $1. But hey, if you do get something, please let me know, because you know, I want to check if it works, because I literally do not know. I did it this morning, so hopefully it works. But yeah, that's been updated. I will, by the way, add new books soon. I love reading, but yeah, working on it. Okay. It's like meditation, like the streams. Thanks, Kiwi man. Like, big respect. Yo, Rosie, welcome. Green badge behind Rosie's name. Jeez, nice. Green, that means half a year, I think. No, holy moly, you're getting you're moving towards blue. Born in Plymouth, Kiwi. You're living relatively close to one another, John and Kiwi. Pleasure, Ashley Court. Thanks for your comment. 886 for this. So the reason I have the 886 on the chart here is because if we are looking for a multi 1-2, right? So 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 up, or actually differently, the highest volume in this latest push up was like, or the highest volume in this trend towards the upside here that we had was in the high, right? So preferably you're going to be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But then now you're like, you retraced all the way down to the 886. So it's just low probabilities for the impulsive scenario. But we're going to cover it in a bit more detail. This is not too clear, but I have the folders. I'll put everything on the chart soon. The 2 monthly flat. Oh yeah, the flat scenario. Yeah, I mean, we can definitely cover the flat scenario. Yeah. Last drop to 51.5. There's great support down there for sure. We just started, Adam. We just started. Good to have you here. Welcome. Okay. 57.4. Might want to keep. Yeah, the bullish CVD. But my short is managed, so I'm good. Contrarian. Okay. So just to explain why I took the short, and then we go into Elliott waves. Now, first of all, we of course have a few scenarios that lead to price moving down, right? So this area over here is an interesting area for a potential diagonal structure. We have a flat for an ABC here as well. And this here was not interesting to me. We hit very big resistance. So I am aware like, hey, you know, we do have a scenario that does move to the downside. We hit resistance, but and we had a bit of bearish CVD here on the 15, but that doesn't give me confidence. We just came out of a big push towards the upside, and I prefer to see a grind down and then eventually seeing some CVD to support a potential move. And that is what we saw here. So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, right, we have price moving down here, and then we moved into the little support, which was a 3-minute order block. And that is where we started ranging with big bearish CVDs. So you can see lower high on price, higher high on the CVD. Maybe I should go to the 5-minute here. So here you can see, right, lower high on price, higher high on the CVD. And I was like, okay, that's the moment I'm interested to join. So therefore the entry was taken here. We now hit the 618, price moved to the downside, retest 618. Now we're at the 886. And yeah, so far so good. So the daily naked point of control is just below us, 57.2K. And then below that we have 55.7. But let's first see if price can make it to 57.2K, shall we? And if we do, that would be very nice. My stop loss is now break even. So the stop loss that I had was here. Right? Above this high because of the divergence. So yeah. Everything I see is just waves now. Welcome to the club. Oh, since last December, still liking this community a lot. Can recommend all. Cheers, Rosie. Wow, man, Rosie's becoming an OG now. Yeah, half a year already. Time flies, eh? Time flies. Index volume broken. I haven't checked the volume on index. I do like the volume on the Coinbase chart. Never let a trade turn on you. I agree. And have a plan, have a strat, take your profits, right? TP1, TP2, or just have a final TP and just take it. You know, there's always a next opportunity. If a trade becomes a bigger runner, I mean, yeah, that's nice. But generally, I have like targets. So yeah. Okay, let's start, shall we? Because of the question of Kiwi on the weekly chart, I do actually quickly want to cover his question, which is about the bearish scenario on the weekly time frame. So give me a second. I mean, while we're at it, I might as well just do this. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. This should be good. So I'm going to start with the bearish scenario on the weekly for the sake of the question, but I will then move into also the bullish scenarios, right? Okay, let me, by the way, I actually locally want to set an alarm just above the daily naked point of controls, because if we are on the higher time frames and I turn the point of controls off, I do want to know what happens. Okay, back to the weekly. Cool. Okay. We are starting the analysis 25 minutes. Cool. So the bearish scenario, Kiwi, right? This is the question you had. At the moment, the most bearish scenario is the same, right? This is by far the most bearish at the moment, where you are looking for a regular flat. Now, it doesn't have the highest probabilities, right? For this scenario to gain any probabilities, you actually have to move below 38.5K minimum, right? So we have our ABC. It's a regular flat. Common target for B is where we are now, right? For a regular flat, that is. The most common flat pattern is an expanding flat. So you actually want wave B to move all the way up here, which is most common. A regular flat is less common, which is where we are now, right? For your wave B, this is your regular flat target. And then you want to see a wave C to the downside, should be an impulse, preferably moving below wave A, which of course is ridiculously low at the moment, where we are right now. But your target should be at least below your A. Now the common target area for a regular flat C is between the 1 and the 1.236 trend-based fib extension, taken from the start to the end of A to the end of B, right? So that is what you're looking for. Now, if price moves towards the upside, even though you're going to hit the common target area for an expanding flat, wave B has to be a 3-wave structure and not a 5-wave structure. So preferably, right, if you are very bearish, that's your high, because the moment you move down and up again, we can, of course, move into 5-wave impulsive structures, which supports the bullish narrative that currently has the highest probability, no? So, yeah. Right. Also, for the sake of explanation, in the bearish scenario, we are looking for an impulse down, right? 1, 2, and then eventually, we move towards the downside, which means that on the daily time frame, if that is your high, we want to see an impulsive move to the downside, where you have a wave 1 leading diagonal, right? Corrective structure in your 2, moving down in a bigger wave 3, right? Daily time frame, let's turn off log. Now, what lowers the probabilities for this locally here in the daily time frame is that price hit the 886 taken from the start to the end of 1, which is a very rare target for a wave 2, common for a wave B or X, increasing probabilities. This move down is a wave C or a wave Y or part of any other corrective structure, increasing the probabilities to move up at a later stage and continue the trend instead of moving down in an impulsive wave 3. Yes, correct, Kiwi. Yeah, exactly. Right, the 886 touch, the 886 probabilities are always important. Now, of course, it is a rare target for a 2. It is a target nonetheless, but it's definitely not common, right? This is data from Elliott Wave International. Most common target is the golden pocket. The second most for a wave 2, the second most common target is the 382 or the 05. But the golden pocket is by far most common, which is pretty much, and the 05786, like a deeper retracement in 2 is most common compared to the 382. So yeah, the 886 is not even mentioned, but it's just very rare. It can happen. Yeah, I'm also not really, I have it in my folders because it's good to be prepared. It just doesn't have the highest probabilities. So yeah, that's the bearish scenario, but it's not the highest probability scenario, as the highest probability scenario are the scenarios that look for price to move to the upside at the moment. On the higher time frames, more important, it's the 886 is the same relevancy on any time frame, really. It's just that on higher time frames, you of course have a lot less 886 touches because the chart moves a lot less. Yo, what's up, bro? Yo, Wizard. Yo, Wizard, what's up? How you doing, bro? Yo, good to have you here, man. I like how Wizard joined. Yesterday, Wizard asked a question and he said, bro. And it was a question about, yo, stop talking to chat and start analyzing the chart. And we already did the analysis. And then he said, yo, bro, at the end. And I was like, yo, bro, we already analyzed the chart, bro. What's up, Wizard? It's also nice that you actually understood I was joking as well, because some people may have gotten offended. But it was, of course, joking around. So good to have you here, man. So, okay, let's go through the analysis and get this sorted, and then we go into chatting and Q&A. Weekly time frame, because we just took, I've just shown the bearish scenario, so I think it's important to show the bullish one as well. Wasn't really planning to do the weekly because most people know the weekly, but we covered the bearish scenario because of a question. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a bullish scenario on the weekly time frame. Common target for 405 over here, 53.3k. The invalidation 49.3k. The moment we hit 49.3k, the alternative bullish scenario is going to be preferred, which I'll show you in a second. Now in this case, we are then looking for a wave 5 to the upside. Target for your 5 is on the chart, 79.6 to 105k. That is very big, but depending on lower time frame structures, we can analyze more accurate lower time frame targets. After wave 3, we want to see a wave 4. Wave 4 of a higher degree tends to retrace to the wave 4 of a lower degree, meaning yellow is the higher degree count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The lower degree wave 4 is the green one, because this green count is an internal count of the yellow 3. Therefore, the price action of 4 is interesting, right? And if we follow the official Elliott wave guidelines, then most commonly a wave 4, if it does retrace to the by the way, this is a guideline that wave 4 tends to retrace to the previous wave 4 of a lower degree, and most often near its terminus, so near the end of the lower degree wave 4. Anyway, that's a lot of very specific information for you. But then we look for 5 towards the upside. This is an estimation at the moment, very big target. Yeah, no, this is your bullish scenario. Your alternative would be this. Oh, 1 second. Fib time. Someone asked me, look, yo, Koen, can you put a fib time on the chart for wave 4 compared to 2? So here you go. Currently, wave 4 is between the 2 and 3 fib time, taken from the start to the end of your 2, if we take this as a wave 2 here. So, yeah. Of course, this range was quite tricky, right? Alternatively, you can put wave 1 here, but you know, for now, I have this on the chart. So, yeah. Right? So this is perfectly fine for a wave 4. Now in the alternative scenario, we already have a finished wave 3. Look for a bigger 4 and then a wave 5 to the upside, preferably 4 finishes after the 1-to-1 fib time, taken from the start to the end of 2, sitting on the 12th of August. Target area for your wave 4 on the chart has already been hit, of course, but not after the 1-to-1. So it's something to look out for. 618 is invalidation. Target 57.1, 42.8. Then we look for one more push up in 5. So these are the two to keep an eye on. Okay, let's then jump in to the lower time frames. I mean, lower time frames. We're still on the daily. So 49 and 51k. The volume. I'm not really looking at volume as a support area. So price moving up, not the greatest amount of volume. I don't really look at it as support. For me, this range is interesting. Structural support, weekly order block. We have a couple of confluences here, monthly naked point of control and some other horizontals. We have the weekly channel crossing here as well. Value area high also here. So we do have some great support. So yeah, I don't really use volume per se. I use volume to count waves, but not necessarily for support resistance areas, unless I use the volume profile. But I wouldn't use it in this local move up. Okay, locally currently, because we're looking for wave 4s, we are looking for corrective structures. I have a zigzag ABC on the chart as well as the WXY, a complex structure. We are currently hitting target areas, so it starts to become interesting to also look for local signs of strength, because we could look for a bounce towards the upside, right? Based on the local structures, that makes it very interesting because we are in a potential swing trading environment here if we can see some local strength. Now, one of the things I keep an eye on is the support resistance here. So this is an important support resistance area of the range that we have been in for a very long time now. And we just tested it today. So support, 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 resistance, right? Now, preferably what we want to see is the same as at 56K. You move back above, you retest it, some nice bullish CVD divergences we had here, and price moves towards the upside. Right? That would be great. That would be a sign of strength. Right? And then we could be looking for price to move again to the higher end of the range. Trade range until it breaks, pretty much. That's then what's happening. And then this is a deviation. At the moment, though, we are seeing resistance locally. And we saw resistance with bearish CVD divergences on the chart as well. So this high over here on my AGGR chart is the wick top. We hit that resistance, price moved down, and we see bearish CVDs here. Lower high on price, higher high on the CVD. Bearish CVD, absorption of market longs with limit shorts, increasing probabilities to see price, at least here locally, move towards the downside. Right, so I do keep an eye on what's happening on the daily time frame because that support resistance area is interesting. Okay, then we start talking about the range again. So the weekly is clear, the daily is clear. Weekly probabilities higher for the bullish scenarios, continuation of the trend. That is of course long term because it's a weekly time frame. And on the daily time frame, the probabilities are also bullish because we are now hitting the target areas for a wave C and Y, areas that we have been looking for a very long time. So we're happy that finally we're down here. And we look for local signs of strength, either look for a bigger bounce directly or one more low to hit that 51.49K area. We have some great support there. That makes it interesting. So yeah. Now, when we when we observe this range, right, in the past couple of days, we have analyzed this range with many different scenarios, and I explained sometimes in a lot of detail why certain scenarios had a higher probability compared to others. And for the ones that remember, the probabilities were higher to move up twofold. One, because price touched the 618, increasing probabilities. This is a three-wave structure to the downside, which in turn increases probabilities for price to move up. And after the 618, we even had this move to the upside with consistent bullish CVD divergences, meaning market longs were consistently absorbed by limit short options positions, which signals strength. Right, on a 50-minute time frame, what you're then looking for here. This, by the way, you can find this chart and the template in Discord or go to my YouTube channel and look for CVD. I made a video. So here, higher low in price, lower low in blue, bullish CVD. Once again, higher lows in price, lower low on blue. Then once again here as well, higher lows, lower lows, right? Consistent. Also here, higher low, lower low. So consistent bullish CVDs. All of these bullish CVDs have now played out. Of course, at the moment, we do see price here moving down, and you can see arguably another bullish CVD, right? Higher lows on yellow, lower low. However, what is different for me with this structure is that now we had bearish CVD down, right? And we are on the brink of changing some market structure here as well. So preferably, if I want to be bullish and look for upside, I want to see new, fresh, bullish CVD divergences here, because at the moment, locally, price is moving down on volume, right? So we have price moving down, but we have volume increasing. So I'm not too happy with that bullish CVD that we have going on here, right? So preferably what I like to see is some local strength. So give me something similar, right? And then get me some bull CVDs, and I'm happy to look for potential positions to the upside. But at the moment, I'm not in any longs. I'm in a short, as explained at the beginning of the stream, taken from here. And yeah, we'll see what happens next. Now, with regards to Elliott waves, Let me check my folders. We might have to do a little bit of live analysis. Okay, I'm gonna talk about this in a second. First, I'm gonna do this. So on the 1 hour chart, because of all the three-way V structures in this area of the chart, there is a potential here for a diagonal. This is a big diagonal. There's also a small one, which I'll cover in a second. In that case, though, wave 1 has to be an ABC. Take a fib, trend-based fib from the low to the high, the middle range here to the low, and you can see that the second leg up did not hit the 1-to-1. And that is rare for a wave C, A, B, C to the upside in that case. So it's not really what you like to see, but it's still a scenario here. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, I'm going to talk about probabilities in a second. First, I want to show you the scenarios, and then we go to the probabilities of up or down. So here we look for a bigger retracement down. 4, one more move up in a wave 5. Take the high of your wave 3. Wave 5 is not allowed to be longer than wave 3. So we can take a trend-based fib from the low to the high of 3 to wherever the low of 4 is going to be. And then wave 5 should not cross the 1-to-1. Also important, if price is going to hit the low of this channel, right, a contracting diagonal becomes incredibly unlikely. Right, because then it's invalidated, because you have to talk about expanding diagonals. Right. So in this scenario, and this is what is most important, in this scenario, you are looking for another high. Okay. Okay, this is the diagonal number 2 that I just quickly mentioned. This is the small diagonal. This is in your bearish scenario, an ABC ending diagonal in a wave C, where you have a 3 wave 1, 3 wave 2, 3 wave 3, 4, one more move up in a wave 5. In other words, you're looking for one more move up. That is the confluence, right? It might be a different scenario, but the confluence is taking that high at least one more time. This contracting diagonal is invalidated if price moves down to, let's say, 56.5, 56.7K, the lower end of this channel. Now, this diagonal, in your most bullish scenario, is a lower degree wave 1. But again, even though it's again a different scenario, you might be like, what the fuck, man? He's like showing like 5 scenarios. It's about the confluence here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leading diagonal in 1, look for a 2, continuation up in 3. But also in this scenario, you create another high, and that is the confluence. And then finally, right, this is still a bullish scenario. You have a bigger 3-wave structure, ABC, with a flattened wave Y. Currently not the highest probability scenario, because you got to move below A, and we don't have a lot of space here. But you got to move to the downside, deep retracement, and still look for price to move up afterwards. So in other words, in the bullish scenarios, which obviously are bullish, diagonal, diagonal, smaller diagonal, and the WXY. Now it might sound like, yo, this is a lot of scenarios, but the conclusion, the result is the same, and that is what's most important. The bearish scenario has been mentioned once. If we look at the blue count and we want to make this as bearish as we can, then we have to look for a diagonal in C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, 3 wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C. In other words, you'll make another high. The probabilities are not high for this wave C to be finished. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has to be your 4 in that case. And then 5. And that is because your wave 4 here is incredibly shallow for a diagonal. And your diagonal is looking like this. It's almost like a triangle. So preferably you get a bigger drawn out diagonal and make one more high. The only scenario at the moment from an Elliott wave point of view that doesn't create a high is a WXY complex structure. WXY. Wave X is then by itself a complex structure, continuation of the range, move to the downside, then move up again for Y. Now, because wave W is then considered a zigzag, because clearly it's not a flat, and W can only be a zigzag or flat. Wave Y in a sideways double combo, right, has to be a flat or a triangle. In that case, a triangle or a flat here would mean continuation of the range, but not per se take out the high. So at the moment, as a bare minimum, the probabilities are higher to just continue ranging sideways. No? Okay. Now we spoke about the 0.618 in my previous video, taken from this low to the high. The moment the 618 is touched, besides the bearish CVDs here, the probabilities decrease for very impulsive scenarios. So that's the reason why I didn't show it, like many multi 1-2s. But it does increase the probabilities for a bit of a deeper retracement. And to the downside, we have 2 daily naked point of controls. First area of support, 57.2K. And that is pretty much it at the moment, no? With this range. So, yeah. Let's do a little bit of live analysis, live thinking, and then end it. So what I'm gonna do, just quickly go over this. This might go very quick, guys, but I just want to make sure that I've covered what I have to cover here. Okay, most bearish scenario. Can we count a zigzag here in a 535? Low probabilities, this is the high, because then I'm talking to myself. So can we count a finished zigzag structure? In other words, if we can't count a high probability bearish scenario, the probabilities are higher for the bulls, no? Zigzag 535 in that case. This could be a 5-wave structure. Yes, this is a 3-wave move. That is already true because we took the high. Then we need a 5-wave structure that is finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be a diagonal structure finished at the high. That is your most bearish scenario. Then you want to impulse towards the downside, meaning volume increasing and impulsivity increasing as well. Falling through support like butter. Doesn't have the highest probability that this is the end though. Preferably you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a bigger diagonal in a wave C. Then we have a flat structure, A, B, C. However, wave B never retraced to the 0.9 Fibonacci, which means we can't even talk about flats. Triangles, A, B, C, D, E, not allowed. C went above A, that is an invalidation. And then we have the WXY, which I covered, W, X, and then Y, which is simply a continuation of the range, trade range until it breaks, and then you move down afterwards. But that makes life easy, because in a WXY, if you continue this range for a long period of time, we can analyze this range again in a couple of days or next week, and we are going to have probabilities to the downside in that case. But at the moment, a WXY doesn't have the highest probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view. You would first need to finish an X and then start a Y. So only when this like a wave Y starts happening, we can really start giving probabilities to a WXY. So WXY doesn't have the highest probabilities on the chart. For a zigzag preferably, we look for price to take out this high sooner or later, either in a diagonal structure or a complex correction, and then start a C for A, B, and then a wave C to the upside. So, and then the zigzag is your higher probability bearish scenario. Your WXY is your lower probability bearish scenario. But in a zigzag, preferably you take out the high. In the bullish scenarios, you take out the high. So the probabilities remain higher to at some point take out this high. Locally, price touched the 618, increasing the probabilities for price to move to the downside. We got a nice little move to the downside now. We know the support areas that we have to keep in mind as well. Those are areas of interest. And at those areas, we can look for potential positions, no? Depending on how price reacts. So, yeah. Also keep an eye on the CVD divergences locally. The local trend to the downside. Not much going on. This is a very fresh, very young range. So, arguably a little bit of bear, but yeah. So on the lower time frame, we hit important resistance, the daily support resistance level, bearish CVDs coming in as well, touching the 618, right? Each factor increases the probabilities to see a move to the downside. As explained at the beginning of the stream, I took my short here at, to be exact, 58,546.9. And I explained the reasons for this as well, right, at the beginning of the stream. If you have questions, feel free to ask. And yeah. Right. So the probabilities are clear, but now we want to look for signs of strength in the support areas. We are also now, by the way, below this support resistance level. So arguably, in order to be more bullish, we first need to move above this box, no? Important area on the chart. Okay. And that's that. I'm gonna put a volume profile on my chart here. Always interesting. Let's see if there's a difference. No, point of control is the same. That's fine. I use this. Summary and probabilities, by the way. Weekly time frame, bullish. Daily time frame, also bullish. Move up directly or make one more low. Has to be said though, the longer you range in the longer you stay in this range, the higher the probabilities for corrective structures instead of impulsive. So we don't want to stay here in this range for like too long, like time wise, because if we are bullish and we count impulses and corrections, like this would be a nice 1-2, right? Wave 2 is short in time as well compared to your 1. It's perfectly fine. It's a deep retracement, nice zigzag structure, perfect. That's a great wave 2, right? But preferably if we want to impulse, you know, we want to get like moving, but we have to move above that bigger support resistance area, which clearly is now acting as resistance now. So yeah, the more time you're going to spend here sideways, the worse it is. It's all probabilities, no? So weekly time frame, bullish. Daily, just explained, also bullish. Both cases up directly or make one more low, but again, the longer you stick around here, the more bearish it is. And on the local time frame here, currently the probabilities are as a bare minimum higher to continue the range, but higher to take out this high still, right? Now locally the probabilities were higher and that's when we talk about the 1 hour time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, probabilities were higher to move down, right? Because we touched the 618, we had the bearish CVD divergences after hitting resistance. So yeah, and now we are below this support resistance box, so that would be at least a minimum first sign of strength would be to move above the box and preferably the value area high. So yeah. I will 1 second. Let me first do this here. When did we start? I think 25. Yo, Holdo Crypto, good morning. Good to have you here. Holdo Crypto always says, always comments, bitte danke. Or, no, thank you, danke, danke, thank you. Always in 2 languages. Let's have a look. You're talking about the contracting diagonal, the top of the trend line is hit. Well, if you talk about a contracting diagonal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for another 5 to the downside. Right, this is what you're looking for. Wave 4 has to be smaller in price than wave 2. And you can see that now wave 4 is bigger in price than wave 2, which is not allowed. So besides potentially hitting the channel, which you take from the low of 1 to the low of 3 to the high of 2, which it also did. No, it didn't. So it actually didn't hit the high of the channel. On log it did, but on linear it didn't. And on a daily chart, linear is recommended, right? When we talk about this range here, this is not high percent moves, 30%. Preferably you use linear. Once you go into moves that cover like 80, 100 plus percent, that's when we preferably use logarithmic chart, right, to correct for that. But nonetheless, wave 4 is bigger. Oh, thank you. Detox, what is it?
It's pineapple with cucumber and coconut water.
Pineapple with cucumber and coconut water. Get yourself a wifey from South Africa. They're great. And my almonds. Oh, and we have almonds. Thanks, babe. The Oracle. By the way, yesterday she said, of course, the probabilities were higher to move down. My wife doesn't trade, by the way. I actually forgot, when did she say that? She said that during the live stream. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. So yes, the contracting diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal structure. Contracting diagonal is invalidated. It has to be an expanding in that case, but an expanding diagonal is very rare, never preferred unless all of the other scenarios fill, which they haven't. So in that case, preferably you're going to be looking for an impulse to the downside, right? Where then your range is a wave 4. That brings me to maybe like for now it's an alternative, but let me at least cover this. So on a higher time frame, a scenario that I've been playing with, and not only me, because I've been seeing it in the Discord community group as well, people like KG, Bettina, several others, where you have the bigger 1, 2, 3. See what we did there? Now this at the moment definitely does not have the highest probability. Somewhere here we don't know, arguably 1, 2, 3, 4, and 85. Definitely does not have the highest probability at the moment because you have a truncated wave 5 in wave 3. I mean, truncations are very rare, very, very rare. Besides, of course, on some charts, even locally, you have a truncation. So very low probabilities, but it is something I've been at least, it's I got it in my mind. And in this case, you would be looking for a much bigger sideways structure. So it's not yet relevant, but at least I've shown it now. Not the highest probability though. Okay. Quickly have a look here. Wait. Joe, big game tonight. Wait, tonight is football. How late is football? Is it tonight? Yeah. Oh, at 9 p.m. I'm so clueless, man. I never watch football except for when they get into like the, if they get far out of the pools, in other words. I almost forgot about it. 9 p.m. The Netherlands versus England. Okay. Wasn't the other one France, Spain? France, Spain. Oh, Spain won. Okay. So that one was when was yesterday? They lost, France. So I have two nationalities. I'm French and I'm Dutch. So, the Netherlands has to carry it now. My French side lost now. 1 second here. So let me have a quick look up here. Okay, so this is where we were. Gonna skim it, right? Quickly. The LOA 4, yeah. The bigger 4 is definitely on the cards. Going back from him, if we had rebound nicely, I would have okay with 53, 54 is half baked. I think what makes 53, 54 also at the same time interesting is when too many people are looking at one particular level, it becomes less interesting. But nonetheless, personally, 51 to 49k, I mean, it's a great area of support on the chart. So I wouldn't mind seeing a drop into that support area. And what I also really like from a psychology point of view is you wanna kill the believers, right? So remember, probably if I go to a video, if you go to my YouTube channel and look for videos that I recorded here, start of May, mid-May, we were talking about the zigzag, A, B, C. Recently, I actually showed a screenshot in one of my live streams. And this was also a psychology scenario we had. Because if you move up to the 886, people think about a breakout because you're so close, which is the perfect time to turn around because people be buying, and then stopped out, right? And then you take out the low, which is nice. But also here, almost hitting the low, move up, take the low, right? So a first potential pump or the believers here got wrecked. I don't know, price moved down. And now we have another low. Bit of a structure to the upside. Yeah, I mean, of course, we want to have more information locally first, right? Before we really start talking about take the low. But on a daily time frame, it's definitely a scenario to take the low and then move up. And then once again, people that buy very early will have their stops hit. So yeah, it's from a psychology perspective. I don't really know what the sentiment is at the moment. What's the greed fear index? What are we at? 28. Is 28 is not that low, is it? I don't often look at this, so I don't really know. So you guys got to tell me. Is 28 very low or? Yo, Mark, what's up? In other words, I would actually like to see it go like, 28. You want to really wreck the mindset. I do not mind price moving up, no problem. Based on the probabilities locally, taking out the high, there's definitely something to say. But taking the low, make the greed and fear index move lower. People are going to be like, oh, we're finished. Bull market is finished. And no. Beautiful moment to turn around. Oh, we're continuing. Oh, 100K next. Oh, we're never going to go below 64K anymore. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then here we are, 50, currently 57K and we hit 54. I'm familiar with some of the Dutch YouTubers as well because I'm Dutch. I think one of the tools that is very well known is the what's that with the dots? Plan B. First of all, Plan B is a great person, but those type of things like the signals with the dots and the colors, it's great to see price moving down. When I believe when price was here, you mentioned in a video, oh yeah, I don't think price is gonna go below 64K anymore, and that's exactly what I like to hear. And then we see this, you know, it means beautiful. So yeah, a bit more fear. I wouldn't mind a bit more fear. Besides, by the way, his stuff and everything he put into it is absolutely amazing. I just happened to watch one video and I heard that and I was like, oh. How many okay. Yeah, but even in the bear scenario, you would continue this range at a bare minimum or still take the high one more time. So diagonals are definitely structures that are important. No? Everyone for themselves, of course. Is a double zigzag invalidated? It's less likely. It's probabilities. The invalidation would be the start of W, because X is not allowed to take the start of W. But the 0.7 is significantly reducing probabilities for a double zigzag. A double zigzag is a sharp corrective structure, right? You have your W, your X, and then you have your Y. You don't want wave X to really move all the way up to the 0.7, right? Then you're going to be talking preferably about sideways corrective structures, not deep corrective structures. It's a probabilities thing. Yes, right. So for a sharp zigzag, the 0.382 to the golden pocket is already quite deep, but the 0.382 to the golden pocket would be your area of interest. And for a sideways double combo WXY, preferably you're going to retrace to the golden pocket to 886 area for your wave X. So that could be like your, if you think about a WXY, then that's a bit of like the separation. Do you ever cover triggers? Don't know what you mean, Lucifer. CVD above 5. Oh yeah. But I don't look at CVD above 1 hour. Generally, I stay below 50-minute, 3-minute. We spoke about the contracting diagonal. What does the Oracle say? Oh, I didn't ask her now, though. I would need to ask her. If I have every inside, how would you draw the target box? So this question is related, by the way, to making target boxes. FYI. On the channel, if you scroll down, there we go. There is a video, the easiest way to trade, less is more, which is about creating target boxes, right? Making it a lot easier and a lot cleaner to trade. So I definitely recommend checking this one out here. And that is what the question is about, is how to make a target box if I have a 4-hour FVG, but also a 15-minute one. In that case, I would like to know the confluences. So if you have a 15-minute FVG in confluence with some other interests, like maybe a time frame horizontal like a daily, or maybe a point of control or a value area, that one is more interesting. Because when we have, for example, target areas from an Elliott wave perspective, for the sake of the example, let's put this on the chart, right? Where price was moving to the upside, no? Here. But the target area for X or B is very big, right? It's the 382 to the 886. That whole area is your target area, right? This is your 4-hour FVG. But then inside this area, I look for extra resistances, right? point of controls, value areas, time frame horizontals, like other stuff. And then the other stuff, so inside the 4-hour FVG in your case, I then select boxes, so locally, right? So in other words, what I would recommend is you have a 4-hour FVG, right, fair value gap, and inside that gap you want to look for the best areas of support or resistance. The 15-minute one can be one of them, but in confluence with what, right? Are there other tools that you use that condense in a certain area on the chart? So I have Elliott wave target areas on all of the time frames. However, I always have my boxes. So when an Elliott wave target is this area here, then I'll be like, okay, what do I have here, right? That can give me confidence for a potential position. And then I'm going to open up my boxes and I will open up all of my all of my levels over here, right? As well as the boxes then, that is. And then I'll be like, okay, you know, so yeah, we have some additional confidence here. Okay, that's interesting. So I know, okay, if price comes down here, I'm interested to observe the price action. And if I see what I want to see, I'm going to go long, right? So even though maybe the Elliott wave target box can be very big, right? So now price is moving to the downside, which is what we like to see. Now we have a big area here with several support areas. Yeah, it like lower time frame, a daily naked point of control here, a daily naked and a daily over here, point of control a little bit in the middle. So those are like local areas of interest. So so the 4-hour is good to know, but focus on local stuff, I would suggest. Yeah. Oh no. Guys, I got the dumbest fly. The windows are open. Oh, this thing is so big as well. Wait, where is it? Yo, I am not kidding. This thing is so big. How can I catch it? I have an idea. You know, I'm gonna catch this fly. Okay, we better not, right? We better not. Oh, man. Whoa. Yeah, I'm not a fan, yo. Yo, help, anyone. This thing is so big. I have no problem catching flies, but this thing is it's the same size as my pink. I swear it's so big. I want to make a picture for you. You can't really, I can't really see it, but let me tell you, it's a big boy or girl, who knows. I'll get it after. Fly spray? No, I don't really like to kill. Maybe he'll find its way out. Okay, I'm gonna, what the hell, man? I'm gonna figure this one out later. He can chill in the office for a little. Maybe the fly will learn some Elliott waves as well. Okay, so we were the triggers, Oracle. So this is where we were. The Fed is going to pump the economy until late in November. So Bitcoin going lower, it should happen before September. That's still a lot of time. Yeah, gonna be pump. I agree. Hey Koens, based on the two local diagonal options and flat, how will you manage your short trade? I just have a set target. Yeah, so I don't. So I have the scenarios, but of course I also have the areas of support and like the daily naked point of control. So because of the probabilities, yeah, I don't often. The goal of a trade is never to swing it all the way up or down. That would depend on what the chart gives me. But for now, with the short, I have set TP. I live in England, so best luck tonight. Should be a good game. Good luck, guys. Whoever wins or loses should be gracious. Yeah, I just like to see a good match. I'm not a football fan or something. I just, again, I never watch football except for the Netherlands. Once they get out of the group stage, I get interested. But yeah, I just want to see a good match. I didn't watch the one of France. I completely forgot. Can you send a website for this fear and greed index? It's probably the first one you will find on Google, not gonna lie. So fear and greed index. By the way, let's have the point of controls. Puff. These three on the chart: support, resistance, volume. Okay. Wizard. I really like the comments of Wizard. It's the opposite of yesterday. It was really fun. No, the movie yesterday was great. Thanks for asking. So my wife and I went to Despicable Me. We like the Minion movies. It's just fun. It's like no brain, great movie. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good story, and we definitely enjoyed. So we had a great time. Thanks for asking. Anyone else that saw the movie Despicable Me? Where is Sibel? She's the CVD girl. I don't know. Maybe she hears me calling her now. So Andrew B, Sibel, if you're here, Andrew B needs you. You're going to use an impulse to kick that fly out of the window. Yeah. I mean, now it's just quiet. It's just sitting on the window. The thing is, so the window behind me is open and doesn't have a mosquito net, and the one here does have a mosquito net, but of course, can't fly out there. So put a glass over it, slide it. Yeah. Wait. Coming. Okay. That was step one. I'm currently reading this book, so I'm gonna use this. No? So, Ali, see you tomorrow. We're gonna catch a fly real quick. I think it might be too thick. Okay. Let's see. Okay, step one. It's in the glass, by the way. Guys, I mean, I'm sorry for the guy experiencing a lot of stress, but this is not a small flight. This glass is really big. Let me be kind and thank you. Okay, so we got that done. Cool. So yeah, I wasn't planning to catch it because I still had my water, but okay, I downed my water, so it's fine. What's your view on thanks Rudy, what's your view on expanding diagonal from the top? Expanding diagonals are always rare, never preferred unless all of the other scenarios fail. So it is not going to be a highest probability scenario. Now the contracting diagonal has been invalidated, so the expanding is the one that's left. If you talk about diagonals in that case, use the cap. Stop vid, how you doing? Suffocated, welcome by the way. Cheese, how you doing? Welcome. How to catch a fly tutorial. Exactly. Thanks to Rudy. You know, this is how you do it. Hopefully it doesn't come in again. Yo, Kiwi, you're still here. So the analysis, of course, is done, right? We did the analysis. We are now chatting and Q&A. Always a fun part of the stream where the topics that are being discussed, we're going everywhere. I'm catching flies. It's probably now 3 a.m. where you live. What you still doing here? So I'm still here. Yeah, this guy. Kiwi, real dire. Despicable Fly Hunter. Should be the title of my next stream. Ooh. Gotta get used to the taste though. Holy moly. Looks like something like a witch would make, you know. Pineapple, I believe, cucumber, and coconut oil. Jeez. Flyzilla. That's a big one. I agree, Rudy. Yeah. Also with spiders, so I just spiders I do with my hands. I don't care about spiders. But these like, if this fly is really big, I don't care too much about flies usually. But wasps, flies, wasps are actually very easy. You can let them go in your finger, then just walk out the house, let them go. But I never want to kill, unless it's a mosquito. Then I'm the worst, because then I get my vacuum cleaner. We know what we're doing. The moment I hear mosquito, get the vacuum cleaner, plugging that thing in. That mosquito ain't going anywhere, right? Great tip, because you don't get any spots on the walls for trying to slap a mosquito. So, midnight meditation. Oh. Those are some short nights, unless of course you have your own agenda during the day. Like in other words, sorry. Whoa. In other words, your own business, or or whatever. Maybe studying from home. You can stay in bed a little bit longer. I sleep in a bit, yeah. Does breaking 57.2 invalidate or no? It's just an area of support. The daily naked point of control, always interesting. Boeing's been in the news recently, eh? Because of my wife. So I didn't read it. My wife told me she found an article recently where by the US, Boeing now has to pay how many millions because they didn't do a certain safety innovation or check or whatnot. And recently they had some problems with their planes, and 200 or 300 people were killed, doors flying off, and I don't know what. 250 million. Yeah. Yeah. They probably could have invested the 250 million better into their safety measures. It's just also that the name of the company hurts. You would think so, right? Like, oh, you know, all of the brands that have Boeings in their arsenal might think like, oh, you know, what the fuck. Did we see bullish CVD on the 3-minute time frame? We did see it at the first low, but let's see now. It's too early. So price is now just trying to range, no? So on the chart, we made a low, price moves up, CVD moves up. It's too early for CVD divergences. So what we want to see as a sign of strength for the bulls when using CVD would be for price to at least change some market structure locally and then look for some CVDs. So a great example, right? A great example is the long here. We had bullish CVDs after a grind up. The short was pretty much anywhere, either here, either here, either here, because we had bearish CVDs at all of these and price changed market structure down. Then we had a long here, or even here. Price grinding up, bullish CVDs, right? And now I have a short here, right? Locally, price moving down, 50-minute time frame, bearish CVDs against resistance. Yeah, it's a nice short. So when using CVD, I would like to see a bigger range form, bit of a grind up. But to the downside, yeah, this is interesting support. Where price is holding now, I don't really have too much going on, really. No. No, we're around the point of control of the recent of this structure. We're at currently the point of control. Might spend a little bit of time here because it is the point of control after all. It's the most traded area since the most recent move up. Yeah. Oh. It's a statement, exactly. And it also shows that they do keep an eye on it, but also just for consumer safety and mindset, right? If you jump into an airplane, you expect, like, you passively expect everything's all right. Yeah. 44, 48 so even stop 51.40. Yeah, it would be for the greed and fear index, that would be great. So 51.49 is important support. Moving below 51, moving below 50, and we're going to be talking about the bigger weekly time frame bullish scenario. Definitely interesting, preferably ending after the 12th of August, right? Now this is your more bearish bullish scenario because here you look for one more move up to finish 5. The probabilities at the moment are not the highest for a double 1-2 here, right? 1-2, 1-2, and then a bigger 3. In both cases, you take the high and then we just take it from there, no? So, but yeah, if there's, look, the target area, like you say, right? 48, 42, 0.382, 0.5, perfectly fine for the higher time frame weekly scenario. It does mean that on a daily, we want to see price move down. Where is my scenario here? So we want to move down into the box, right? Deeper, lower. We've only hit the 1-to-1, but we then want to see, of course, lower prices. Right? Now the first area of support to the downside, this one is very important. If you lose that, yeah, you're going to go to the mid 40s. This is your range 4 of a lower degree. So the area between 49 and 38 would be very low, but that is wave 4 price action. No. But yeah, at the moment though, we're hovering at 57. Take it step by step. If price moves down towards the 51 to 49k area, it's simple. From an Elliott wave point of view, you just got to wait for a range again. And the range will give you all you need to know. So I don't have any limit orders or stuff going on. I always wait for the range. And the range will give me all the information I need. Things will change for the best, yes. To an engineer not doing their job, yeah. Possibly. I mean, look, for me, CVD is the best indicator out there. So I always recommend keeping an eye on CVD divergences for the ones that are, of course, interested in using tools like these. But and if you don't know about CVD, you go down, and then here, CVD beginner's guide. Great tool. Definitely can recommend. And depends, of course, on where the long is entered. And then it's all about risk management. We hit incredible resistance to the upside here. So naturally, from a trade management point of view, that would be a TP area on a daily, that's daily resistance. So one probably would not expect to move through that support resistance area in one go. You can't have a double zigzag in wave Y though, so you would need a simple structure in your wave Y. So you then talk about W, X, and then you have your wave Y. Wave Y has to be a simple zigzag structure. So it has to be a 535. 535 either finished, but then your wave C only hit the 0.618. Your alternative would of course be a bigger ABC, lower prices. People think we move up, bull market continuation, kill it, bring it down, everyone bearish, fuck, you know, we go down, up. In that case, this has to be a 5-wave structure, of course, for the WXY. W flat, X flat, Y zigzag. You want to end it here. What's the volume doing? Now, highest amount of volume is in the low though. So from a volume perspective, preferably this here would be a wave 3 or part of a wave 3, not a wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finishing wave 5 on a high amount of volume. That is possible in a wave C. So you can end a wave C on high volume, relatively common even. But in a wave Y, right, yeah, I mean, yeah. 1, 2, yeah, this has to be 3, 4, and then finish 5 up, and then another 5. Yeah. Yeah. So I would agree. Preferably, because it is corrective, preferably this would then be your low of your first structure. It's not an easy 5-wave count. You would have a diagonal here in a 1, shallow 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Yeah. Yeah. Multi 1-2 down to the 1.618. That is the That's not the highest probability. That's just the most bearish scenario. A double one or a 1-2 here, and then move down in a 3. That is a scenario that can easily get you below 40k. Which it's the most bearish scenario, but not the highest probability bearish scenario. Or if you talk about, oh, bearish is taking this low, for me, taking this low is still part of bullish scenarios, not bearish scenarios. The most bearish scenario is this is an impulse down and you go to way below 30 or 40k. Anything else that happens here for me is simply just bullish. It's just a continuation of the range. So A, B, and then C, right? Perfectly fine. Yeah. The WXY that was just mentioned, A, B, C, for then WXY, perfectly fine. Still bullish price action. It's very normal in a bull market to cope with like 20, 30, 40% retracements. I was looking into the difference between CVD and OB, and it seems OB is for will trading, CVD. So OBV is volume, but I don't use it. I've never really used it too much. And will trading, I don't know if with OBV you can really spot that. The thing is, with CVD, you see what happens in the market right now, right? So every candle that's printed, you can see what happens in that candle just by observing the lines. So if there is a bigger position that is absorbing market longs or shorts, you'll be able to spot it, right? Of course, you also have leading CVD. It's not that CVD plays out every time. But in the context, right, you hit bigger resistance, you see bearish CVD divergences, probabilities increase to go down as the probabilities are higher for a big limit short to absorb the market longs. So increasing probabilities to move down. Of course, it's just like anything. It's all about confluences and tool or context. But yeah, I'm a CVD user. I never really use the OBV too much. Which CVD is the best, the spot or the perpetual? Well, in my case, if I open my indicators, I use the perps. I don't use spot. Now, maybe some people like to use spot CVDs, but that's fine. But expect different results because every CVD line you add or change is going to give you different results. Cheers, Mark. 70 likes. We have 971 views in total. Which is the total number of times the stream was viewed while it was live. Sometimes people come in and out, so you might have one person representing multiple views, but yeah, it's a pretty bearish percentage, yo. Doesn't matter. The top should be between 82, 93, 100. This is my prediction. Trade the plan. Have a plan. Trade the plan. All right. From an Elliott wave point of view, on the monthly chart, 104 to 180 is a very interesting area. Premium. Yes, it is quite different for spot. What's the drink? This drink is pineapple, cucumber, and coconut water. Thanks everyone for the likes, by the way. I do see it coming in. Moving towards the 100. So yeah, it's a drink that my wife made. And she brought it just now. So it has bits and pieces of cucumber and pineapple. But yeah, it's nice. On the weekly and the green scenario, how do you take the 618 invalidation forward for? Make sure you have the logarithmic chart, first of all, because you're on a weekly time frame, right? And you are analyzing price moving over easy 100%, right? Second, a pull on the weekly here, in this case, is done from this low to this high. 0.5, 618, logarithmic chart, and the fibs are also on log. Fib levels based on log skill. That should solve the problem. Try fixing of the last upper range on your weekly diagonal channel. The weekly channel, which, no, that's one. And then a volume profile of the range. You mean this? Last upper range, so that's this one. You mean the point of control here in confluence with the from the all-time high. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Well, it doesn't really change too much though. You mean the point of control with the channel high here, Jay? Would definitely be, by the way, an interesting area of resistance. No, if you do move up, point of control of the range, hit, reject, everyone very fearful, drama, panic, Bitcoin is never going to go up again. Bloop, then we go. F, it's the value area low. These here, in confluence with the previous range. The value area lows are interesting because, of course, a sign of strength would be to move above the value area low and then retest it and change the structure. Still a bit to go, though, before we reach the value area lows. Okay, there we go. Sorted. Okay, everyone, online for almost 2 hours. We covered the waves as well and what we're looking for. Probabilities, of course, have been mentioned. For me on Big X, the upper range value 62.2. I see. Confluence with the channel. Yeah, I do my analysis on Coinbase, but I trade on Bing X, but I prefer the Coinbase chart. It's the one that I use for so long already. Top of the channel, yeah, confluence with the top of the channel. I see. But you know, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here as well. The next live stream will be tomorrow. Tonight will be an update. Right, so a normal Bitcoin update. Let's see if price is gonna give us anything in the upcoming hours. Of course, I will try to make the update before the Netherlands starts playing England, because I do actually want to watch it tonight. So I will try to finish the update before 9 p.m., which is expect an update in about 2.5 hours. You know, 8:30 Central European time, I guess. So thanks for being here. Kiwi, cheers. Man, it's so late, 3 a.m. in New Zealand or something. Enjoy your night. Have a good sleep. The 4-hour streams. I got stuff to do. I have to do like, so I got to do sports now, make a YouTube video, do some stuff for the house because we're selling the house and moving to France. And then of course, eventually it's watching some football as well. So thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. And yeah, the next stream is going to be tomorrow again, right? So trade safe. See you at the next one.